it going, YouTube? So today we're going to be taking a look at a Beverage trailer that I picked up from an auction out of Washington, D.C. And honestly, I opened it up, looked it over a little bit, but I don't know much about this. I don't know if it works, and I'm honestly not sure if we're going to be able to check if it works. So starting out front here, this side's unlocked, the other side's locked. They didn't have keys, but it all comes into the same little area. Not a problem. You have the compressor, whole setup, and it comes down here to a plug. So now it's got like a 220 volt style plug, and then it's got one of these outlets, or one of these extension cords that transfers out to like a 120 style plug. But when I plug the 120 into my extension cord I can pull out of my garage, it pops the breaker on the extension cord. So I'm going to try to hook it up somewhere else and see if we have any luck. But overall, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to test this. Now, this is a 1986 Waymatic something or another. And you'll see when we move some stuff and we'll pull it up out of here. But it's got room for 26 half kegs in the main compartment, and then it's got spots for taps on both sides of the trailer. Now, they did say that both of the trailers they were selling, which were both very similar, were in decent condition. One of them needed an AC charge, and the other one needed some minor work. They were not sure which one this was. So, let's go ahead and pull this forward, and we'll kind of see what we're looking at with it. Okay, so as I stated before, and actually as I showed under a different video, if you turn these and open them up, these shocks don't work the best. You have little supports that hold up, and you have where it used to say Miller Lite, and I assume Miller Lite over here too. But you have 5 keg spots on either side with a little tray, and I assume it drains out. And then when we come around to the back here, it's got, once again, Miller Lite. But you can open up this, and this is a whole refrigerated unit. So, we'll go ahead and take a look around in here as it gets very dark on us. But all you have is your taps, 5 on each side. And then I assume you would have some other stuff, CO2, whatnot, miscellaneous items, and I don't know, no dates to see when it was last in use. But a nice little rig for going out to events and selling beer. See, that side opens up much better. It just doesn't quite get all the way. The big question is, does it work? And my very short answer is, I don't know. So, the plug is rated 125 volt, 30 amp, which, not sure what that actually says, but the air conditioner can run it. And then I came over here and was looking here. I see, okay, 25 volt generator, which gave me an idea. Where on my property would I ever find a generator that can probably do what I'm asking it to do? Let's see what happens. Let's see what we find here. First of all, we want to be on, looking at this, 240, 120, one phase. The straight up and then the to the left are 3 phase. We don't need that. Looking at these, it looks like we can get 20 amps in the normal, 20 amps in the normal, 20 amps in the normal. Okay, that's not quite what we want. But if we come down here to the direct hookup, we can do 120 volt, 100 amp, which would definitely suffice for what we're looking for. We can also do, it looks like 120 volt, 89 amp, and these are 208, 480. We don't want to do anything like that. So it looks like if we come over here and we go, the lowest one we can find is 120 volt, so it'd be L1, L0. L1, L0, in the one phase position should give us what we're looking for on the direct hookup. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to have to uninstall one of the ends and tie directly into this, but I believe that will work for us. My first plan is, we already determined that any one of these combined ones can support 20 amp. The cord's rated 30 amp, not sure what that pulls. Let's go ahead and give it a shot on this before we jump to this big old thing, just because I like this a lot more. So, cut that on, cut the master on, let's see what's happening. Doesn't look like we have anything here. Let me look around some. So I found out what was going on. It's popping the circuit breaker. Okay. Took the end of the cable off, cut back the cable so that each one can fit. I put green to ground, white to neutral, black to the positive. Now looking at this, we are set to 1-phase power. And in that configuration, the direct hookup L1, L0 will be 120 volt, 89 amp. So we go L1, L0. Not totally sure what that is. We'll leave it on 1, maybe, I don't know. And that should give us what we need. Now, I did message Gary from the Decoration YouTube channel since he does electrical stuff. And he decided it'd be great for me to do this on my own by not answering me. But I'm pretty sure we got this. L2 and L3, that's what makes 3-phase power. So as long as we're not using 2 and 3, we're not getting into phases. And then it should just be a simple hookup. That being said, I have all of my breakers turned off. This breaker is off at the moment. We'll go ahead and start this. And it's going to heat up the glow plugs and then start up. Now, for the moment we've all been waiting for. Let me make sure. Nope, no message from Gary. Oh, it didn't pop the breaker. But this also doesn't feel like it's running. Oh, it is running in here. Awesome. So, I have no idea if this is actually going to work. But let's see what we're reading now, and we'll let it run for a bit. So this just appears to be basic stuff. This is reading 80 degrees. I'm not sure where. The vent to run out of here is not running, but let's go ahead and... So let's see. We still have polarity normal is lit up. This just turned off though, so I don't know if that was supposed to happen. Let's go see what's going on in the back. Okay, so back here, that is definitely running and blowing cold. So let's go ahead and shut this and just give it a bit, and we'll see if it cools down. So if we come in here with my little thermal gun, we see this is blowing anywhere from 78 to 80 degrees. So that definitely tells me that we are not actually cooling, but it is running. So what I'm thinking is this is likely the one that needs charged, and that's okay. This kicked off, and I'm assuming there's a pressure switch in here. So I might ask Jarrett, since he has done these before. But I'll also likely just go ahead and throw this up for sale as it is. I can show what turns on. I'll put a light bulb inside there and see if that works. Also, let's go into see what's going on here. Okay. So one of those switches does that little light bulb. I'm assuming one of the switches does the light bulb in the back, so let me grab one and test it. Yep, so looking in here, I just threw in a little LED light, and that works. Also, since I flipped on all of the things, let's just make sure. Nope, we're still seeing in the 80s. That's set, looks like -10. And yeah, so I'm assuming this system does not have a charge. and that explains what we're seeing. But maybe I'll check with Jarrett, see if he could charge it up, or we'll sell it as it is, because honestly, this tells me a lot about it. This will go ahead and end off the video just kind of going over this. We were able to get it fired up using my auction Dusen G40 28 kilowatt, and we actually got a pretty good idea of what's going on here. So we know it kicks on, we know it blows, we know the light switches work. The light on this side of the trailer does not appear to work, but the light on the other side does and flickers weird colors on camera, looks good in person. But you know, honestly, I feel a lot better about trying to sell this now. I'll talk with Jarrett and see if he thinks it's worth trying to fill up this refrigerant up here, seeing if we can do something with this little system and get it to work. Or if not, then I'll sell it as it sits. Don't have too much money in this, so I am more than happy to throw it up there for a fair price and see if I can get a cheap trailer to get somebody into a business idea for them. But thank you for coming along. Thank you for hanging out this long with me. If you have any comments about this, my Waymatic 616, please leave them below. And otherwise, I'll see you next time. Thanks, YouTube.